Good morning, survivors, and welcome to a brand new video. Now, today's video is going to be a bit of a breakdown after hours of playing Genesis Ascended, and I just wanted to be totally honest about this DLC so far. One of the biggest things is, of course, there is a lot that needs to be fixed, and I think a lot of updates that are to come to Genesis Ascended over time, and one of the biggest ones that really shocked me is that galleons weren't actually in this DLC, and Studio Wildcard said once the DLC launched that unfortunately they're not ready and they'll be launching in August, which I think is a little bit of a shame, but I think there's many major issues that need to be sorted before this map goes in. But anyway, we're going to be diving into the good, the bad, the ugly, and hopefully you guys are going to let me know in the comment section how you've been experiencing with it. Yeah, it's kind of a classic DLC launch, but a bit of a weird one. So if you enjoyed today's video, as always, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, and of course, if you want to come and play on the LoadedCrysis servers, the Genesis Ascended server is now live, and you can obviously go over to join game, go over to the LoadedCrysis servers. But of course, there are issues at the moment with the game, so I'll be explaining a little bit about that. As you can see, here's our Genesis server, and even if it hits 100 out of 100 people today, we will be opening up more and more to let you in. The link to our Discord is down below. It's completely free. So, this is the issue with what's going on right now. As you can see, this is the official servers, and this is, of course, something that I don't think I ever have remembered that's really happened before. I would say unofficial might be a little bit worse than official at the moment, but in terms of the actual ping, if we quickly go to like ping over here and we scroll down to 1 second if I get this, look how many servers are in 1100 ping. And apparently, since this update dropped, they pretty much have released maybe some of those water physics across other maps, and Lost Colony for some reason is being affected the worst. I mean, I don't remember the last time I've ever seen this. I'm really hoping a patch is going to go live. I mean, look how many servers are at 1100 ping at the moment. It is scary to see, and hopefully Studio Wildcard will fix this. But anyway, we're going to dive into Genesis Ascended now and talk about some other bits. So in terms of beauty, this ocean biome is actually gorgeous. And on top of the water, when you're actually looking at this map, it looks amazing. The new water physics are really cool, and it actually took some time for me to notice a difference, but actually when you do get into some rougher weather and you are on a raft, you can notice the waves, and it definitely feels brand new. I absolutely love the beautiful islands as well that is available on Genesis Ascended Ocean Biome. And as you can see, I've explored a lot of it. There are some huge islands, there are some small ones, and there are many, many, many different outposts that you can see on Genesis. Now, as you can see, there's some lovely, lovely areas to build and have fun. And actually, when you dive into the water, you can see it's very open, it's very clear, and very nice. Again, some more really awesome places that you can build, and there's some really awesome places that you can dock your ship. As you can see, when you come over to some of these flashing outposts that a lot of people think are lighthouses, when you actually come over to them, this is how you can begin all the different missions where you face off against naval ships, which obviously are the brigantine and the sloops, because of course the galleons aren't in. You will need to destroy artillery towers, the boats, and then you will infiltrate the actual castle, and NPCs will start to spawn once you do that. A lot of the time you'll get dynamite and you can blow up these, you can get awesome loot and rewards, and it's actually really fun, and you will find a lot of paleo octopuses around these fortresses. There is a line, as you can see here, where you won't be able to build in and you will be out of bounds. But in terms of the waves, you can see things get a little bit choppy out here. And that's where I actually really, really like the ocean. As you can see, we're bobbling around in it. It feels real. It feels cool. And I really like it. I definitely feel like when I'm swimming above, this feels kind of terrifying. And when I'm going underwater, I don't know what's below me. And when you see that coming towards you, you're not going to be very happy. Now, one of the things I think Studio Wildcard, I know it's a simulation, but something that there's been a lot of complaints about is when you go to the bottom of the ocean, it looks like this. Now, when you actually turn off the fog, which I've shown you in my other video before, it looks not very nice. And you can't tell me for an immersive experience that this is really what you want when you've got an underwater biome that you're looking for those true underwater physics. Not at all. I think that looks disgusting. I'm sorry, like, even though it sounds really bad, it does. As you get closer to the top, it feels real, though. It just kind of feels like the ocean is feeling a bit bland at the moment. It feels like it's needing a bit more love underneath. But in terms of the choppy waves and the beautiful ocean, you can't deny that it looks glorious. When you actually are on a raft, so if we try and go over to one of these bases, one of these islands over here, and we actually stop here and put our raft down, you will notice the difference. As soon as you get into the choppier waters, you will notice that it's slightly harder to traverse around the area. I didn't really feel it as much as I thought I was going to. And I was wondering if that was because maybe I haven't experienced too much of a weather effect yet. I was wondering if Studio Wildcard hadn't added in everything, because to be honest, you know, being 100% real with you guys, it still feels unfinished to me. Of course, the galleons being sold to us that they were going to be in the DLC, and then on the day, they're not there. Obviously, the ocean, underneath the ocean, feels a little bit unfinished. I think the outposts are really great, and there's some really awesome places to build. I think this has potential, and I really do. My only concern right now is the water physics have absolutely slaughtered the other maps, which I thought Jeremy, the co-founder of Studio Wildcard, was going to say that, well, did say that those water physics weren't planned to come to other maps until later in the year. They were going to test it on Genesis first. So, clearly, they must have changed their mind there, and it's backfired, and we're going to have to wait for a patch. Now, as you can see, as we're swimming along now on or sailing along on our raft, you can really experience how we're going across the waves, you know, enjoying it. It does feel nice, and I really enjoy that kind of aspect of it. But again, it's, for me, not as like kind of, unless I probably haven't experienced the true choppy waves yet, but from playing and it's not felt like it's been a challenge in terms of, I was going to hope that when I was going island to island on rafts, these waves would get even bigger, which maybe they could, and they would maybe knock you off your raft, but I'm not sure. That's all I've experienced so far. So now we're going to go back over to here, and it's because we are going to show you the ocean platforms. And the reason we're going to show you the ocean platforms is to show you the size of them. Now, these are great. Obviously, these have been in the past Genesis version. And also, you can get yourself a shipyard. Now, we're allowing players to have an ocean platform and a shipyard on the LoadedCrysis Genesis server, because there's a lot you can do and build in it. Now, as you can see on your shipyard, what you can do is you can open it up and you can create yourself a sloop or a brigantine. Once you have the resources to build it, which it's not that expensive at all, really, you can see you will have access at your shipyard to your brigantine. When you load up, as you can see, you can go into the bottom of it. You've got your cannons down here. You've got a lot of space. The brigantine, even though there's no galleon yet, there is still a lot of space on the brigantine to have a proper pirate experience. You can climb the ladders, go right to the top, and it truly does feel like you are sailing a very, very large ship. And I think that's why I'm happy, right? Because if they didn't have that at all, I think that would be a really poor experience. But what you do is, once you are done with that, Obviously, you've got the captain's quarters here, which I'm sure there's going to be many of you guys exploring and having fun in your captain's quarters. But when it's time to set sail, you close the captain's quarters, you come over here, and you can actually enjoy a bit of music. And that is something that we can show you now. So there is different type of music, and we can turn on a shuffle. If that decides to work, it says album, but we can go to the next track. And the captain's last laugh has begun. You can then set sail on your ship. Oh, sorry, I was trying to keep this professional. That looks incredible, doesn't it? But you will then set sail onto the high seas. And I have to say, the steering is very, very satisfying. And I think Studio Wildcard have actually done it really well. You can change the way you can raise the sails to stop you from traveling. And then you can put them straight back down to gain wind and basically fly off. In terms of the cannons, you can aim them on single player and fire using this here. So if you do see incoming ships, you can fire at them like this. And as we're trying to sail and turn, we can head over here. And we can test out how it works. And if we go over here, we can keep on going forward. And hopefully, it's actually fairly tough to sail, which I like. I want it to feel immersive. I wanted it to feel real. And I do like that a lot about the DLC. So as we get closer towards this, you will see the ships have slowly started to spawn in. And we can show you a little bit about how it works. And it looks like they've already started firing at us. It looks like they've already started firing at us, which is not what I was expecting. But I wanted to show you a little bit about how it works. We're going to fire our first cannon shots. And we're probably going to die here. But I think the plan was to actually show you how it works. And when you're firing your cannons. And when you're taking damage. As you can see, it's much easier. It'll be much easier when you're not on your own. We're probably missing those shots there. But you're going to definitely need some crew to be able to help you fight this. Because otherwise, it's not going to go very well. As you can see, taking further damage there was not very nice. But you can listen to all your music while taking incredible damage. And they have incredible range. But in terms of the actual ship sailing, it's pretty, I'm going to use the word glorious. It really is. And I have to salute Studio Wildcard for actually creating that, which is pretty cool, I have to say. So, anyway, one of the other things I wanted to show you is if you didn't want a brigantine, you can create yourself a sloop, which is the other ship currently available in the game from your shipyard. You can do that, double tap it, and you can create yourself a sloop. And the sloops are really cool as well. They feel very kind of homely. You've got your captain's quarters there. And something else that you may want to know about your sloop is you can actually make your own market. And if you're someone that is on your own and you really want to set up your own Genesis shop, you can actually place your market on here and you can sell your wares to other people on the server. So using a sloop can be a very profitable business if you're playing on Genesis, because the sloops are a lot quicker, they're a lot faster, and in terms of movement, a lot easier to get around. And I have to say, I really like it. So in terms of Genesis as a whole, as we're mainly focusing on the ocean because that's the paid DLC, I think they've really got the ship mechanics straight on, and I think they've got the water really done well. But in terms of underneath the ocean and the depths of the water, it really needs some serious improvement. And as we always seem to have the same issues with ARK Survival Ascended, we all kind of were worried that if these water mechanics came to the game later on, it could pretty much break the game, which is what it has done at this moment in time. So if you're someone looking to pick up ARK Genesis Ascended and Tides of Fortune and with Dragantopia, I do actually recommend it. In terms of if you're looking for a pirate experience and you really like that kind of quality of life in terms of being a pirate and coming together with a tribe, you're going to really enjoy this DLC. But if you are someone worried about performance and your game breaking, then you might want to wait it out a little bit while Studio Wildcard iron out some fixes. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the video. I wanted to just give you my opinion and my thoughts on the DLC so far. There is a lot broken with it, but also I see potential. And I really hope that they keep moving forward, they release updates, and hopefully, I think it's the servers which is the main issue with it right now. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe, come and join us in the Loaded Crisis cluster for sailing and fun experiences. And I'll see you in my next one.